So I'm getting ready to go to California, going to California, and I'm excited. I'm excited because the last time I was there, I didn't leave with the best taste in my mouth. I'm going to see our Detroit Lions take on a now eliminated San Francisco 49er team who their window might be closed. Like, it's going to be a lot of questions they need to ask in the offseason, and I'm there for it. I'm there for every stumble that they make, especially after what I had to go through at the NFC title game. But the Detroit Lions have a massive opportunity, depending on what happens on Sunday with the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. But I've been talking about this for a while, and the Detroit Lions have they're either going to be it's going to be realistically one of two things. They're going to have to, all roads legitimately are going to go through Detroit, or they're going to have an uphill battle and be outside of the division wins, like the division crown, okay, starting in the playoffs. And it's going to be one or two things. I don't see a scenario that they can get the second seed, but maybe they can. Maybe if Philly wins out and a host of things happen, they could possibly get the second seed. But the more realistic situation is that the Detroit Lions are either going to be the first seed or the fifth seed. And it's going to be a doozy either way. If they are the fifth seed, they have two opponents that they're going to face. It's more likely going to be the Atlanta Falcons or the LA Rams. It's going to be one of those two teams. So they have a massive opportunity. And unfortunately, this week, it's not up to them solely. They have to take care of business, and they need a little help. The good news is even basically the Detroit Lions can afford one loss. The Vikings can afford none. If the Detroit Lions win or lose on Sunday or Monday night in week 18, it doesn't matter what the Vikings do. It'll all come down to week 18. But with the right set of circumstances, the Detroit Lions are going to have that first seed this week in week 17. But I wanted to show you kind of a scenario that I have kind of cooked up, and there's several different scenarios that you can have. This is how I think week 17 is going to go. These games are in the books. I think the Chargers, who need that game, they're not securely in the playoffs yet. I think the Broncos, man, this game is going to be fire right here. I don't know who to give it to. I think I'm going to pick the Bengals right here. So if the LA Rams win, the Seattle Seahawks are eliminated from playoff contention. They're done. They need a Cardinals win. So I think the LA Rams are going to put the Seattle Seahawks. Isn't it kind of funny that 2 years ago, it was kind of the same situation just in week 18? I think the Buffalo Bills are going to win. I think the Tennessee Titans. But it gets interesting. I don't know who to pick. It gets interesting down here. Colts there, Miami Dolphins here. This is where it gets good, okay? So I think the Green Bay Packers are going to win this game, and then the Lions are going to win the game against the 49ers. That happens. First seed is locked up. Week 18 means absolutely nothing, and this is probably going to be what your playoff picture looks like. And I can tell you right now, the most exciting game that I would be ready to watch in this order would be this game here. This will be a rematch of week 16. I think this time to be in Philly, I think it'll be a great opportunity. This one will be fire too. That will be a good game to watch. And I'm telling you what, if this happens, if this plays out like this, do not be surprised if the Detroit Lions host the LA Rams in the NFC Championship game at Ford Field. I'm trying to tell you, if it plays out like this, all right? But there is a way that the Detroit Lions could get the fifth seed. If we make the 49ers, the Vikings win, and then they win in week 18, then the Detroit Lions would drop to the fifth seed. And again, like I said, they're realistically going to play. It's either going to be the Rams, the Falcons, or the Buccaneers. It's going to be one of those three teams if they were to drop down to 5. But it's realistically going to be one or two things. They're either going to be first or they're going to be fifth. And if they're going to start on the road against the Rams, the Bucks, or the Falcons. That's how that's going to go. They do have a possibility to host the divisional round if the one of the higher seeds win. So if the higher seed, let's say the Green Bay Packers won, then they would go, and the Washington Commanders won. Washington would go to the Minnesota Vikings, and then I did it yesterday. I forgot how to do it real quick, but yeah. So the Detroit Lions will be one of two things. But by the time you're watching this, this could be already irrelevant. We could already have that scenario where we have the first seed and the Minnesota Vikings have the fifth. I'm really hoping it does not come down to that because I don't want to have a heart attack, man. I do not want to have a heart attack. I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of being serious. You ever seen that commercial back in the day? It was, I'm having chest pains. I don't want to be that guy with the life alert at Ford Field or whatever, or at home in my basement streaming with y'all. And I'm being dead serious, like no pun intended, dead serious. I want to have a stress-free week 18 as we watch the rest of the NFL duke it out. This is crazy that a 14-win team is going to be outside of a division winner. That's insane to me. But let me know, again, if the Minnesota Vikings, if they lose against the Green Bay Packers, who are still fighting for a lot, if they lose, they're in the playoffs, but their seeding can change. Right now they're 6. They can drop down to 7. All right. They're still playing for seeding. So if the Green Bay Packers win that game, all the Detroit Lions have to do, and you can shop at Meijer on Monday afternoon, and your NFC champion 2024, I will have a new hoodie right here. It'll say 24, and it'll probably be a little different. Or we're going to be going down to the last game of the season. Just think about this. I'll let you guys go. Those shirts, hoodies, hats, all of that stuff is already made. It's just sitting in the box somewhere waiting for the Detroit Lions to get that win. So let me know what you think, man. Will the Detroit Lions be the first seed or the 5th seed? Let me know. Or do you think some outside chance they get the second?